Hey everybody, welcome back to the Woodruff Cast. I'm Frederick Woodruff, and today or tonight, depending on where you are, is part two of my discussion with astrologer Jessica Murray. In part one, which is linked to below, if you've missed that, go watch that because that will make comprehending what's coming up now a little bit more easier. But again, we're looking at a redux of Pluto in Aquarius, also the off-gassing of the United States, Pluto return, and then Pluto's position in the second house. We're going to dig into more of that and just the general mayhem that accompanies the Pluto and Aquarius techno transit and everything that connotes. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is simply a prelude and short preview of the full talk. Please come over to frederickwoodruff.com. That's over on Substack, frederickwoodruff.com, and join us over there. Hope to see you soon. All right, everybody, here's part two of Jessica Murray.
If we think about the Sibley chart, which has different house systems, I use the Placidus.
Mm-hmm.
We can extend the Pluto return work that America has to do to its tenure through the second house.
Second house, right.
And that's about till 2033 if you use a cusp of 13 Aquarius
Mm-hmm.
or the third house cusp of the Sibley. So the added layer of meaning here of that Pluto return is breaking down Americans' expectations of what material security is
Yeah.
and plutocracy, which is duh. Pluto in the second house when the USA was born is the symbol of plutocracy.
Yeah.
You can't find anything more literal than that. But people were not using that word until a few years ago.
Right.
People were recognizing the 1% 99 split, but it was taboo to say plutocracy. No, no, no. We're a democracy. When the numbers started to be glaringly obvious and it could not be denied anymore. So we have the seeds natally of a group that's a plutocracy. But now that it's gone into Aquarius, it's revealed that it's a techno-fascistic
Mm.
plutocracy.
Mm.
So you add the element of the tech lads being the plutocrats,
Right.
which wasn't true in the Gilded Age. They had other versions of plutocracy then, but now we have this tiny cabal of tech billionaires now with a T for some of them. We also have until roughly 2033, we'll be breaking down the idea of what money means. And you and I can think of cryptocurrency as being this weird, abstract. I mean, we're old enough to
Sure.
be totally weirded out by an idea of a resource that has no bearing, no relationship anymore to physical life.
Right. Another
I mean,
negative Aquarian idea, you know.
yeah, that's right. I mean, it's the ultimate abstraction. It used to at least have some, with the gold standard, a
Right.
reference point,
Right.
not to mention the old days when it was spice, old days meaning centuries ago,
Yeah.
or salt, uh, or gold, not even that anymore. And this reminds me that before Pluto's out of this house, it'll probably be that America is removed from that the dollar will no longer be the global standard.
Yeah, where it seems to be like heading there quite quickly with Trump steering the ship and whatnot. It's interesting, like you were saying, with Trump taking down the East Wing, claiming Kennedy Center, doing this and that. it the other thing about the second house is it is like the treasures of a institution or a person.
Yeah.
And so it's not just literal uh, emblems that Trump is taking apart. It's just like today when I saw that motocross racing at the Lincoln Memorial, probably the most sacred spot next to,
Yes.
the what's the big graveyard there in DC. But
Arlington.
yeah, and these evil Knievel dudes ripping through and it was another destruction of a treasure,
Of a
the
treasure.
sacredness of that
Right.
memorial and whatnot. So, but to go to your school of thought, this is all required, sort of, in an if we're leaning towards trying to awaken, it's like,
Yeah.
well, what's
Something
being
has to
shed
break
here
down.
about these ideas of democracy and the country and the government and the
Right.
president? Because that's all it's gone now, which is why
Well,
people feel so wounded because they have no words for like what Trump's doing, right?
right. I mean, this is transition. It's painful.
So that
And
birthing.
death is no fun. Dying is no fun. But if you believe in cyclic um, logic, rebirth has to follow. I
Mhm.
mean, you and I may not be alive for it, which is hard for us. But this idea that something is breaking down at the very root has to be accepted
Yeah.
before we can make any sense. We have to identify the dark potentials of Pluto and Aquarius in order to avoid them. But we also have to face the idea that in metaphysics, breakdown, aka death, is just it's an ushering in a prerequisite
Hmm.
for some kind of regeneration, which is the point in nature of decay on the forest floor. We don't have a hard time seeing it that way in nature, but we have a terrible time understanding it, we humans do, in terms of other things like ourselves and our cultures.
Hmm.
But now we're talking about, okay, Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius is heading towards the moon, but let's save that for another podcast. It's heading towards the US
Pluto
moon,
moving to oppose the US moon
uh,
or
to conjunct it.
conjunct it, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, which is in a way the next big phase. And we have to consider what is the resource? What is the second house? If it's not gold, what is it? Well, it's cryptocurrency and it's data. So this
Data.
is the age of Pluto, 2 decades of Pluto in the most extreme air sign, the most removed from physical life, like we keep saying, means that data is the new oil.
Yeah.
We're in the information age. And, Pluto and Aquarius has just shoved us over the cliff into the information age, which we were just, teasing with, flirting with, being still in the infatuation phase with up until now.
Yeah.
Now it's intellectual property, it's data collection, it's surveillance, dark Pluto and algorithms instead of whatever the machine age was about, like the steam engine and brick and mortar building and
Hmm.
Carnegie. And now it's intellectual ownership and the ownership of our minds.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the alarming thing when you look at the cabal of tech pros and their whole they own all the data. They own every bit of info on you, on me, or and there's this crazy power, uh, hypnotized state that I think comes from a real primal, primitive spot in the psyche about power.
Right,
And
right.
so,
It's
yeah,
raw
data is
power.
the new oil. And here we are with, 4 or 5 people What's scary about that is in this documentary I watched the other night, the Ghost in the Machine, they were projecting ahead how the bros really they're not even in the process of democracy
They're not
or the
interested.
yeah, and they see themselves again, this Aquarian, they're exempt. They're, up in the
Hmm.
cloud, owning everything. And then
Hmm.
democracy, we're just because I heard the other day like Musk is now a trillionaire.
Hmm.
And so he could go to Trump like, well, I've got 11 billion I can give to you to swing, the midterms. Like
Hmm.
this idea that money's going to buy, everything. And so it's just this madcap, like, theater of the absurd moment that we're living in with the most material things that
Right.
people.
That's the house we're in, which used to govern physical, like geography,
Hmm.
like it was land based up until very recently in human history. It was always about the territory was
Yeah,
physical.
yeah.
And now it's the monopoly, as you say, of information. And it's mental. And it's this epitome of air gone wrong. And this is a dystopian vision, though. I mean, we got to start thinking about healthy Pluto in Aquarius in order to get back to some kind of cosmic purpose here. Like,
Well, go ahead with some. Yeah, I think it's good as I sink in despair. Uh, yeah, let's like shift the needle to look
but
at
it isn't
that.
just, I mean, I'm against this dualistic way that we can't help but think in terms of, oh, this is the things I like about it. Oh, this is the things I don't like about it. How about it's a cycle where something has to die in order for something else to reemerge?
Yeah, a
So
mixture,
nobody likes the dying and the decaying, and it stinks.
right?
It's all the most unsavory aspects of existence. So we have to identify that. But it's only logical that there's a rebirth, and
Hmm.
that's what we know. Pluto should really be called the planet of death slash rebirth.
Yeah.
So to think about what did the goddess want when she created Pluto in Aquarius is one way to think about it.
Hmm.
it we have to update the institutions that were, broken down during Pluto and Aquarius in Capricorn for a reason, because they had rot at their core. And remember that last time, 2.5 centuries ago, certain of these institutions made sense, like the Electoral College, when the whole country, when little colonies were kind of,
Right.
rural, farmers everywhere, and this right to bear arms when people had muskets, not assault weapons. There are all these things in the government that are clearly way outdated, and this is the transit to update them under. And remember what happened last time it was here. Pluto was in Aquarius, which was the Enlightenment,
Yeah.
which was a really hot new idea at the time. I mean, it was blew the pants off of everybody. No one could believe it. The whole world's mind was blown. Break away from the church? What are you talking about? Science? That's a sacrilege. So, an equally radical approach to societal structures is in the cards here, whether we like it or not. So let's
Hmm.
like it and get on board and,
Hmm.
throw our vote to the more creative versions of it.
So
Like,
go ahead.
go ahead.
Well,
I'm just
just
going to keep rambling
well,
if you don't
you got me
stop
thinking
me.
it's again like, look, the secret sauce of Aquarius keeps getting like set aside for amidst all the polarity and opposition, the left, the
Yeah,
right, the liberals, the conservative.
yeah.
And Aquarian's gift is to see the commonality that in our
Right.
humanity. And it's
Exactly.
so hard for, and it's weird how you mentioned like enlightenment, because when I look at the right and the GOP and everything that represents, it's all anti-enlightenment. It's
Totally.
like get back to Jesus, science, we don't need
Yeah.
vaccines. You can live on raw milk. And, it's like that whole element's been stirred up in the recipe right now. But
Yeah.
I wonder what will foment or catalyze that positive Aquarian realization of,
Well, I think it's inevitable. I mean, I don't think we have to worry about that. It's like if if we're riding the wave of these huge transits, it'll do that. It's going to be natural law. For example, demographics, which we were talking about earlier.
Mhm.
This demographics, for example, climate change is going to create waves of refugees like never before. Our world has never seen. And the white supremacists and nativists, like in Europe, they can squeal all they want, but there are going to be just too many desperate people moving across borders. And there's going to be this breakdown in um, all these walls people are building up, these ridiculous Brexit style. I'm thinking
Yes,
mostly of Europe because
yes,
it's all those countries are squashed into each other, and it's so clear that Turkey can build all its physical walls it wants, but when people are starving and climate change has ruined the agriculture in their country, and just like in South America now, desperate people are going to find a way to move to a place they can survive. So there's that, and there's the fact that demographic realities for other reasons, as we can see everywhere, that mixed race is going to be normative. The world is becoming more and more of a melting pot,
yeah.
and the bigots and the xenophobes may not like it, but the races are blurring together. And right now, in this country, white males are a dominant minority. They're still
Yeah,
dominant politically,
that's right. Yeah.
but not numerically. And then we've got Xavier Becerra, the first Hispanic governor in California, reflecting the demographics of the state,
Yep.
is an example of that.
Yep. Mom Donnie in New York.
Yes.
So those are strong emblems when it comes to xenophobic mindset that's like raging now. But and
I
then
mean,
there's
that's the reaction. It's like the world unconscious, the collective unconscious knows it's happening. We're
right.
all animals. We can all smell what's in the wind. We can, let alone see it
Yeah.
everywhere we look. That it's more and more of a melting pot, and the whiteys are freaking out.
Mm.
The white males, of course, they don't want to give. When else? What else is new? When have the people in power ever gladly given up their power? But we're talking about the big picture here and which way the wind is blowing.
Don't you think that it's going? I don't want to be like boomer doomer. I just think, unfortunately, with human nature, I just get this creepy feeling, and a bit post-traumatic stress syndrome because I lived as an adult through the crash of 2008 and almost lost my house and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just thinking the corrective here could be this crazy ass precipice that the tech movement with the AI and the data centers and all this concentration of money and the stock market, just now there's a trillionaire on the planet, one of the stupidest people on earth. And
Right.
just I'm just thinking something's got to give there. Like, you know, something's going to pull out that one little block that's holding up, that game where you build with blocks and take turns. Don't want to be the one that knocks the thing over. but one of those blocks is going to get pulled out, and then this whole structure
Which
is going
structure
to
do you mean in this
the
in this
economic
context?
the volatile economic thing that we're again, it's that Neptune Saturn still in this diluted state that people are starving, but like Pam Bonnie said, have you seen the Dow today? Like stocks are booming.
It's so insane. It's so another way of saying that it's so insane that it's got to fall down is that it's so extreme of the air that it's out of balance, Coanaquatsi style, with
Yes,
Earth in this
yes,
case. So that can't work because nature doesn't work. Nature can't forgive an out of balance situation that extreme.
yeah.
I'm looking at the extinctions that happened in the 4 billion years of the planet's life.
Wow, yeah.
And when things get extreme, I mean, it could be thousands of years of breakdown. This is not necessarily a pretty picture, but again, we're trying to, as astrologers, get beyond just, oh, I don't like it. Oh, I do like it.
Hmm,
If
hmm.
you look at long ass cycles, it could take however long it takes, but the system, look, I'm thinking not just the physical earth or the governmental structures like you brought up, but the cosmic consciousness, the cosmic intelligence can't sustain imbalance forever.
Yep.
So we would like it, we would prefer if it were rebalanced while we're on the earth, or while our grandchildren even are, but whatever, it's gonna rebalance.
Yep.
So this is why I would like to go back to what we love about Aquarius so that the next 20 years we can put our energy into the Pluto and Aquarius symptoms, manifestations
Mm.
that we know, to put it this way, the goddess had in mind when she invented that transit. Like, for example, collaboration. To give a slogan to Pluto in Aquarius, people power. The people in groups, that's the Aquarius
Yeah.
part. The power is the Pluto part. And, between groups, between nation states, this is the hope. I mean, I would say the point of Pluto
Mhm.
and Aquarius, whereas the
Mhm.
tech bros and their tiny little monopolization of wealth and data is the sick, twisted distortion of that. But what if the EU, for example, stopped competing with each other and did a real sharing of information, getting all on the same page with what systems they use, bureaucratic, military, economic? That would be such a Pluto and Aquarius reformulation. And Aquarius doesn't care about boundaries. Capricorn does.
Mhm.
Aquarius doesn't give a pin about that.
Mhm.
It doesn't recognize them. It doesn't recognize the boundaries between races. Do you know Aquarian people who are like this? They're blind to
Totally.
how
Yeah.
different. Oh, you're a different religion than me. You're a different class than me. That's why we love it. They're fascinated in the fact that we're all human.
Yeah. See, I just I get when I think about that impulse that you're talking about and people's ability to remember that, connect up with it, express that. And then I think about social Aquarius media in the US and how, to the advantage of the bros, it was critical to keep everybody going at each
Mm-hmm.
other's throat
Yeah, it's
because
dark
that's where
Pluto.
the
Totally.
clicks were. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
baked this in with people. Like I always tell clients, go to a part of the web you would never go to, like
Mm-hmm.
a right-wing website or Fox, and listen to how people from that group view, liberals, Democrats, independents, whatever. and it's you just see like the brainwash state that, and it keeps everybody at each other's throat. And the internet is that sinew that it has to be, and maybe the internet has to like melt down or something, some huge catastrophe takes it offline.
There, I
People return to,
you can bring that to the bank. There's going to be a huge rebalancing, but again, we don't get to control when it
you know,
happens, or even the specifics of how it happens. We can make guesses. You and I don't do predictions like a lot of astrologers do, but what we can predict is that Pluto governs breakdown, and Aquarius is technology. This you could take to the bank.
well, and then the beauty of Pluto and Aquarius would be this like excavation and, returning
Yeah,
people back to things that they did unite around,
yeah.
back in pagan days or whatever, like into the earth. Here again is the Pluto Uranus conjunction in the 60s.
Right.
Earth pagan reasserts, and the earth
Mm-hmm.
is embraced again, and the people as extensions of the earth, all of us, are part of Mother Earth's body, and the
Mm-hmm.
unification of feeling that, not thinking it, but feeling that. And
Rebalancing
I
the
think people,
elements.
I think people are they're just sick of this other mode, is what I'm getting. Like I all it's gonna take, like I like to go and watch what Mom Donnie's doing because I think
Yeah.
he's such a maven with
Yeah.
how he's maneuvered. And then you
Yeah.
feel your heart kind of
Yeah.
soften and like,
Yeah.
oh wow, yeah, doing this for people, and
Yeah.
like it just like,
They love it. People love it. People love health. People love realness. It's like a plant loves the sun. You can't squash that out. That is natural law. And people are warmed by Mamdani because of the realness, and that you no amount of money. I mean, I'm sorry, I've never understood this putting money on a pedestal. I mean, it's only one house out of 12. What is is it ever bought anybody happiness? Every great
I
work
know,
of
let's
literature in the
let's talk
world,
to
every fairy tale in the world has the moral of the story that no, it does not. From
let's
King
ask
Midas
Elon
on.
Musk. We'll call up Elon and
Exactly.
ask him like how's that going for you, Elon?
How's the happiness thing going, Ellie? I mean, this is the point that these guys, like we say, these on the spectrum, arrested development, deeply unhappy people. Have you ever seen a more unhappy man than Trump? He
Oh
has
my
no
Lord.
love in his life.
It's
People register. So let's go back to we're animals. This is the Taurus in me talking, but you don't have to be an earth sign to get that you people resonate to what's real and what's loving. People love, and
right.
they know on some level whether they're in the reaction, like the woman squeezing her knees together phase of reactionary relationship to what's happening in society or not. They know deep down what has life in it.
Hmm.
And they know people who don't have love in their lives, and they get that that's unhealthy on some level, but
Yeah.
they're still not the protesting, reacting phase. There's so much of that, and it's so loud that we forget this deeper thing, which is as living beings, we are like plants going towards the light. And that's where the tech lash comes from. That's where the fact that everybody hates these AI products that you often talk about. I mean, studies show people hate that shit.
Yeah.
And people really hate Elon Musk. Are we really going to come out of this whole chapter saying, oh, but he had all this money? No, we're not. We're going
Exactly.
to come out of this saying, wow, look at the disparity between the wealth and him being a decent human being.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, I mean, not to pick on Trump, but he is literally like a Dr. Seuss character. Like when you think of how he, drew the characters, Dr. Seuss. And well, I guess if you think of the Grinch and Seuss,
Yeah.
but
People are using
Trump is
that
like the
analogy for
well,
him too. It
he's
has
the
occurred to
literal
observers.
manifestation of it. It's just when I'm like not in an activated state or reactive mode, I just kind of look at him and it just is so pitiful. And my Cancerian like heart
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
but that lasts like 10 minutes and then
Right. Well, that's
I
what I'm
like.
saying. The horrors are so in our face that we forget this deeper point.
But to your cosmology and the way you hold things, like Trump, the literalness of looking at him, hearing him, watching it, it's broadcasting this.
Yeah, because we human beings are a little bit dull, little dense up here, and we didn't get it. I'm going to hit this bug on my screen. So Mother Nature had to, or the cosmos had to make it real obvious, bold letters. He's an idiot. He's demented. He's soulless. Is this what you want?
Yeah, it's such a mystery how this particular Shakespearean segment of reality is going to like play out. Well, Jessica, do you think we talk? I'm thinking of those kids I sent you, the video of Jessica.
Yeah,
I, I
I
when I
sent it
am,
to all my family.
oh my God, it's just gold. And I was watching it on TikTok and I was just laughing my ass off. And it didn't even occur to me, oh, I know a Jessica. Because I was just enraptured with the immediacy of these
You
kids.
probably
Like,
know more than one, don't you?
well,
It's
I
so
don't
common these
really. But then I
days.
was like, oh my God, Jessica. Like, just I was so like excited to send you that because it was such a scream.
Just
Oh
hilarious.
my God. And then I
And that
love,
it seems to work
well,
as a magic
yeah.
spell.
And
That's
I found the etymology of Jessica, and it was something like, God, like some the eye of God, like watching or
well,
something.
you can see that it starts with a JES, so it's the female variant of Jesus.
Oh,
That's what I
oh,
was saying in my email to you.
oh, I missed
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So the variant of Jesus,
female Jesus.
it's just so brilliant. I
L'état
absolutely
c'est
adore
moi.
that. I'll have to post that so people know what we're talking about. That'll
Jessica? Jessica?
Jessica! Jessica!
Jessica! Jessica!
Jessica! Jessica!
Jessica! Jessica!
Jessica! Jessica! Jessica?
Jessica!
Jessica! Jessica! Jessica!
Jessica. Jessica.
Jessica! Jessica? Jessica!
that'll be a good uplifting way to go out of this in this
Oh
podcast.
God.
Okay, Jessica, thank you so much.
I love that. I love talking to you, and I hope it's good for your listeners too.
They're gonna love it. And I'll be talking to you soon. Bye, darling.
Bye bye.